Good evening and welcome to Etown News. I'm Ella Kocher.
And I'm Will Veith. The Charter Day, a look back on Etown's homecoming celebration, and more, coming up right after this.
Elizabethtown College has their own student-run radio station here in Steinman. Students in any year can join to be a DJ and there's no prior experience needed. We have many great DJs for this semester. To listen to our DJs, tune in on the radio or use the TuneIn app to listen to WWEC 88.3, The Sound of Elizabethtown.
Elizabethtown College celebrated their 125th anniversary with the Charter Day event on Wednesday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Even though the rain and bad weather, students lined up across campus. The first 300 students received a free Elizabethtown College tote bag. Placed along the academic quad, there were local food trucks, a slide, and even live music. Students in attendance received a free voucher to use at one of the food trucks as well. They had their choice from chicken and french fries to ice cream. The popular option seemed to be ice cream and the cookie dough combination. By the end of all the festivities, students huddled together in the misty weather for an aerial drone shot where they formed the number 125 to celebrate the college's 125th anniversary.
Looking to get the newest swag at Elizabethtown College? The College Store at Elizabethtown College had their grand reopening this past Thursday to kick off homecoming weekend. New designs for hats, t-shirts, and water bottles were available for purchase. The store also unveiled a new window display to show off the new merchandise. Etown students could win a multitude of prizes throughout the reopening through raffle drawings. Food and drinks were provided by catering services, and the store had a good turnout, with many Blue Jays getting the newest swag while earning loyalty points through the college's new loyalty program. To stay up to date on their open hours or purchase merchandise online, go to etown.edu/programs/college-store.
The High Library hosted an escape room game from Thursday the 26th through Sunday the 29th in celebration of Etown's 125th anniversary. Truman, Etown's famous therapy doodle, visited Etown's birthday celebration and ran off with one of the gifts. Clever participants looking for a challenge got into groups to find the gift and rewrap it before time ran out. The library is always planning new events, so make sure to stop by the High Library website to see what they have in store for the future. To stay up to date on events and their open house, go to etown.edu/library.
Elizabethtown College kicked off their homecoming festivities last Friday with the Parade Float Building Party. Before they could showcase their organizations and march down College Avenue, students and members of the Etown community gathered to construct their floats for the annual homecoming parade. Their creativity was on full display that day, as they painted and constructed their interpretations of this year's theme, This is Etown. Assistant Director of Alumni Relations, Emma Pyle, oversaw the event and shared what she saw from the participants.
The excitement is really high this year. It is the 125th anniversary of Etown, so I think everyone's really excited to celebrate that. So students are really excited to show us their favorite traditions, icons, things around campus that they enjoy.
As the day drew near, plenty of smiling faces were all around, as their efforts would soon be on full display.
Mad Cow Improv kicked off its performing year with its 2024 homecoming show this past Friday. After a summer hiatus, Mad Cow Improv, one of the beloved performing groups on Elizabethtown College's campus, has returned to the Gibble Auditorium stage. The improv group, currently in its 27th year of performing at Etown, had one of its largest turnouts for the homecoming weekend ever. Mad Cow also debuted their 4 new performing members in both the promotion video that played before the show and in several of the games from their roster on Friday. Some of the highlights from the evening included the alumni participating in a group called 173. This game and the prologued daughter of 2 Mad Cow alumni going up during the show as a guest in the game called This Is Your Life. The group scored several laughs during the show and will continue throughout the course of the semester. If you are interested in any of the upcoming show dates or watching any content from the group, you can follow the team at Mad Cow Improv on Instagram and YouTube.
Saturday, September 28th, was a big day on Etown's campus, as the college hosted its 29th annual homecoming parade. The event continued the school's week of celebrations for its 125th anniversary, as they welcomed back their alumni and the Etown community through the day. The college's news station, ECTV 40, filmed the event at the Alumni House, across from campus. The street was packed come parade time as the host welcomed everyone in and entertained the crowd. The festivities finally kicked off. The parade consisted of numerous floats from organizations on campus, like Dogs in the Dell, the campus puppy raising program for service dogs, homecoming court from each class, and much more, like Truman the Therapy Doodle. By the end of the day, President Betty Ryder spoke to those in attendance and kicked off homecoming weekend. Following the event, recent Etown graduate Jake Moser spoke about what it means to be a part of such a special community.
I think that's one of the things that's really nice about Elizabethtown is that it's a very strong community, regardless if you're a student or not, and it's incredible to be a part of that.
While it seemed to be a dreary day at first, the weather held up, and it was another beautiful homecoming parade at the college.
The Office of Student Activities will be hosting a bingo night this Friday in the Cave. The doors will open at 7:30, but Blue Jays love to get in line early. The first 320 students will be admitted with a chance of winning a prize. Keeping an eye out for OSA's Instagram stories to get a sneak peek on some of the few items the lucky winners will walk out of the BSC with. Now here's Gwen Young with your Etown and professional sports updates.
Thanks, Ella. It was a rough weekend for our Blue Jay athletics. The light schedule failed to produce any wins for Etown this past weekend. The women's soccer team kicked off the weekend on Saturday at 1 p.m. in Scranton, Pennsylvania. They battled Scranton University in their landmark conference match of the season. It was a game that Scranton controlled for all 90 minutes, ending in a 3-0 loss for the Blue Jays. Scranton broke free for 29 shots in this one, 12 of which were on target. Etown found themselves struggling on the offensive end, finishing with just one shot by the time the final whistle sounded. With this loss, the women's team now sits at 5-3-1. They'll continue a long stretch against landmark opponents this Saturday when they play their next game against Drew University at 1 p.m. at home. The field hockey team also played Scranton at 1 p.m. on Saturday as they look to celebrate homecoming with a win on Wolf Field. Unfortunately, they lose a high-scoring matchup 6-3. The Blue Jay defense did their best to contain Scranton's shot-happy offense, saving 12 of their 18 shots on goal. Junior midfielder Rachel Troutman helped get the Jays on the board in the 26th minute, and sophomore midfielder Hannah Long did her part by adding 2 of her own later, but Scranton's offense was too much, and Etown would drop their 5th game of the season. On Saturday, they'll be back on the field against Drew University on the road at 12 p.m. in Madison, New Jersey. The men's soccer team wrapped up homecoming weekend with a 1-0 loss against Scranton at 3:30 p.m. The game was even at 0 for most of the game, and both offenses were finding space with the ball. In the 54th minute, Scranton snuck one past the keeper to give them the lead. The Blue Jays would fire off 4 shots on goal in this one, but were kept off the scoreboard. This loss moves them to 2-5-2 with 8 games left to play. They'll head back home and come ready to play on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. when they face off against Drew. In pro sport news, the Major League Baseball postseason kicked off on Tuesday. Your contenders in the American League include the first seed New York Yankees, who lead the charge with likely MVP Aaron Judge. They'll compete with the likes of the Cleveland Guardians, Houston Astros, Baltimore Orioles, Detroit Tigers, and Kansas City Royals. In the National League, it'll be Los Angeles Dodgers with superstar slugger Shohei Ohtani holding the top seed, and the Philadelphia Phillies, Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres, New York Mets, and Atlanta Braves will look to knock them off. It should make for a fun postseason. The Women's National Basketball Association is also in the midst of their playoffs. Just 4 teams remain, with the top 4 seeds all making statements in their first-round matchups. The first seed are currently squaring off against the defending champion Las Vegas Aces, and the Minnesota Lynx are fighting the Connecticut Sun for a trip to the WNBA Finals on the line. That's all for your sport updates. Now here's Wesley with the weekly weather updates.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the Weekly Weather Watch, where we cover your weather once a week, rain or shine. I'm your host, Wesley Ryan. Today, Wednesday the 2nd, is overcast with a high of 68 and a low of 52. Tomorrow we're expecting some higher temperatures with a high of 74 and a low of 52. Raising that further with more clouds, Friday with a high of 77 and a low of 57. Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 73 and a low of 50. The sun will be shining on Sunday, and there will be a high of 70 with a low of 56. On Monday, we're expecting a high of 69 and a low of 51. It'll be mostly cloudy on Tuesday with a high of 66 and a low of 49. In other news, Hurricane Helene tore through Florida's Gulf Coast and up through Tennessee this past week. The Category 4 storm caused more than 600 miles of damage and left many streets flooded. More recently, the hurricane touched down in North Carolina, which has left many stranded due to its destruction. The catastrophe could cause up to $110 billion in damages. We are hoping all who are affected stay safe during this time. Thank you for tuning into the Weekly Weather Watch. I'm Wesley Ryan. See you next week.
In pop culture news, Saturday Night Live is back. The crew at 30 Rockefeller Plaza kicked off the 50th season with host Gene Smart and a performance by a country music star, Jelly Roll. Looking at this year's TV talent competitions, controversial star Anna Delvey was eliminated from Dancing with the Stars last week. The former con artist sparked controversy when she was announced as a part of the cast due to her criminal past. At the box office, The Wild Robot leads the way, making $35 million on its opening weekend. The Beetlejuice was a distant second in the polls, making $16 million over the same weekend.
That's all for this week, Jays. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at ECTV40 for all the latest updates on our shows. I'm Ella Kocher.
And I'm Will Veith. Have a great week, and remember to
Take flight, Etown.